Why is that so important?
Yeah. So many different reasons, right? And that question is going to be different whether it's for a child, a teen, or an adult. I get concerns from parents, really valid concerns about, well, I don't want to label my child, or if my child gets this diagnosis, is everyone going to see them in that light? Those are really fair questions. And in our assessment style, it's a very collaborative process. And during the intake, we actually talk that through. How are you going to feel if your child or if you end up with this diagnosis? How are you going to feel if you go through all of this and we don't have that diagnosis? And what do you get at the end of this, right? Because it's a fair question. It's a big investment for families, not just financially, but time, emotionally. And there's so many different ways to answer this, right? I think that for kids, there is that validation, especially for parents, and putting the pieces together and trying to understand their child and creating a framework, right? A language, even for the family, for siblings to help better understand what's happening in the house. It builds empathy and understanding, and just having that framework to just better understand the strengths, the struggles. And then, of course, there is the tangible thing at the end, the report and the recommendations for accommodations and potential 504 IEP in school. So there's the very concrete reasons for an assessment that a lot of people are driven to the assessment because of that. For adults, it is a bit different, right? So if they're in college or they're in a job and they need accommodations, some of those reasons might be the same. But for adults, it tends to be a little bit more about self exploration and understanding and validation and clarity to make sure that they're getting the right treatment, right intervention, right support. Oftentimes, there's something that's come up with their partner that's bringing them to the evaluation, and this question keeps coming up that they want to maybe put to rest about neurodiversity. So it really depends on where someone is at in their life and what it is that they want at the end of it. And we ask that. How would you feel at the end? What would make you feel like this was worth your time and your money to go through this process? But I think I'm obviously, because this is what I do, so I'm biased, but I'm a big proponent of understanding, having
Oh,
parents
absolutely.
understand, teachers understand, and for the child, teen, adult themselves to have that explanation as well.